Hey everyone, welcome back to Someone's PC. With me today is absolutely no one, because it's 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning and everyone's sleeping, but for some reason I feel like doing a video. So, today we're going to go over the Yveltal Garbodor list that I've been working on for the past 2.5-3 weeks now. I got second place at LC today, only taking one loss to a Rainbow Road deck that was playing like 2 EX Pokemon and then all hybrid B Sharp, Golurk, Madness. It was awful. I can't kill Xerneas. So, for the most part, this list has been absolutely amazing, and I wanted to share it with you, the people, to see how much you guys like it and if you guys can make any improvements on it. So, just to get right into the list, it starts with 2 Shaymin. Like most of the decks in the format will. Shaymin's broken. Setup's good. I like it. Next up, we have 2 Darkrais. I play 2 Darkrai. Let me start clicking on stuff here. So, play 2 Darkrai. For the sake of being the secondary or the 2-hit KO or 3-hit KO needed off the initial BKT Pitch Black Spear. So, most people are wondering why don't I just play 1, or why don't I just put it as another Yveltal-EX, where the concept I was trying to run with here is I use Pitch Black Spear early to deal like 120, 60, 120, 180 to Megas, and then follow up with a KO with a Darkrai for either just a DCE or an Elixir plus another energy attachment, and then I don't really depend on how much energy they have on their side of the boards in order to regulate it. I also wanted him because he's resistant to Psychic, and Mega Mewtwo is getting tons of hype in this format, and that minus 20 is actually come into play quite a number of times. So I like him. I think he's juicy. I've also used the Dark Head a lot just to take a KO against Shaymin when I already poked it on the bench for 60 damage off of Pitch Black Spear. So he's good. We're running 9 Darkness energy if you can't see it from down here. So he kind of complements that very well. Like I said, I'm just going for a 2-shot. So I mainly want to get like a 100 damage out of him or 120 to try and get the most optimal way of me utilizing him with Pitch Black Spear. So 2, it's good. You can drop 1 for Yveltal-EX if you feel like it. I like having 1. I'm playing 1 Umbreon-EX. The one I have in real life is actually full art because it looks absolutely gorgeous. So this dude, Veil of Darkness, does 20. You can discard any number of cards from your hand and draw that many. I've barely used this deck. I don't think I might have used it twice in like 25 games. So I don't really look to use it too much. I'm mainly setting up some crazy Ninjaboy play into his endgame here, where if it knocks out a Mega, I get 4 prizes total. So the goal with it against particular Mega decks is I'm using Pitch Black Spear to do roughly 180 to one of the Mega Pokemon off of 2 BKTs, and then I'm going to use a Ninjaboy off the second BKT to go into an Umbreon, and that Umbreon takes the final KO and end game against a Mega. I've done this, I'd say 6 or 7 times, and it's worked out beautifully. I also like having the Ninjaboy and Umbreon there for awkward moments when I know they're just trying to like stall me out. So there's times when I have like a Yveltal with a dark energy on it, and then they Lysandre it up because they're trying to stall me from whatever's causing them pressure on the active. Let's say like a Yveltal-EX or a Darkrai, and I don't want to waste the DCE on him to retreat or to only poke for 60. So I've done times where I've Ninjaboyed into the Umbreon for 1 retreat, and then just instantly retreated at that turn and went off. So lovely card. Really like it this format. I think everyone's sleeping on it. Pretty disgusting. To go into the card of the deck, like the star of the show, is definitely Yveltal BKT. The best part about him is the control that's being put on them, on your opponent, through Fright Night, and having no tools have an effect is incredibly ridiculous in our current standard format. Most players aren't playing any form of switch. Maybe one escape rope in Darkrai decks, but that's all I've seen. Most of them just play 2 or 3 Floatstone, and that's their way of retreating outside of using a TCE. So I'd say he is the solo reason why I'm even winning any games. And he's taken 6 prizes by himself, just 1 BKT the entire game slaughters, or 2 get set up, and my opponents have no way of making a comeback because they have to use a Hoopa in order to get their engine going, and he just punishes that in so many ways. So I play 3 in the deck. I want to open him. I'd play 4, but it's incredibly unnecessary. 3 feels great. I play a heavy Floatstone count. That way I can swap out anything I open with after I Ultra Ball for him. So he's good. He's really, really strong. I'm looking with this deck to spread damage and set up 2-hit KOs and 3-hit KOs for my Umbreon, Darkrai, or Yveltal to follow up after this dude's already done his piece. So really, really strong card. Love it. I think it's format breaking in terms of where we're currently trying to shift the meta, which is towards Mega Ray, Scizor, Mewtwo, all these mega decks and Floatstone oriented decks that just completely murdered by Fright Night. So he's great. Love the card. I play 1 Yveltal-EX. This could easily be 2. Just swap out a Darkrai for him. I think I just prefer him more just because of the resistance and the Dark Pulse that can get astronomical numbers just from having Elixir spread onto my bench instead of onto the active like Yveltal-EX needs. Maybe I just fear Mewtwo a little bit too much, and I don't want to overcommit to this guy. I'd rather just have him out there taking damage and then being resistant to him. So you guys should already know what Yveltal does. Great card, Evil Ball, Absurd Attack, and then Y Cyclone. Just really ridiculous in combination with BKT because you can move the DC onto it, and you feel like you're doing damage and then immediately taking the resource you use for that attack and putting it onto something that's benched that's not even EX Pokemon. So love it. I play 1 Jirachi in all my builds because I want to outplay any players that just run special energy decks and usually go for a deck out against them, or Lysandre up Giratinas that have DDE on the bench and punish them for playing in such a reckless way against a Jirachi. So he's good. Stardust is absurd. It's helped a lot against Mega Mewtwo when they put 2 DCs onto a Mega, then a Jirachi, remove 2 DCs off of it, and Lysandre up a Hoopa and begin my going back into my steady game plan with just Pitch Black Spear, Pitch Black Spear, Pitch Black Spear into an end game to finish the game off. So really like him. I think 1's fine. I play Super Rod, so I get him back at any point. Moving on, we have a 1-1 Garbodor line. Originally had it at a 2-2. I looked around my LC and I was like, holy crap. Everyone else is either playing Garbodor or they're playing a Vileplume deck. There's no Greninja, there's no Volcanion. And I think that was when I swapped it out this morning, or yesterday morning now, into a 1-1 line. It worked out fine. I mainly used him as a late game sealer where I would set up for a big play to swing prizes in my favor, and then they'll need to end me. And then if I put Garbodor online the exact turn before they go for that end, the number of cards they draw off the end is all they're going to get because I cut them off from going into a Shaymin. And the rest of the game, the early turns, like turns to 1 through 7, I just use Fright Night and Yveltal's Pitch Black Spears to control them and control their board state. So I think the 1-1 line was fine. 2-2s definitely needed if I wanted to run into a Volcanion heavy or Greninja heavy meta. But for our area, everyone's just in love with Megas. If not, I'm playing a mirror match, and that's not going to do much anyway besides letting me set up for cute plays with Fighting Fury Belt. So some things I've also done in the mirror match with BKT versus BKT is I've used my BKT to poke for 60. They use theirs to poke for 60 back, and then I Floatstone my Garbodor the following turn, and then attach the Fighting Fury Belt to my Yveltal and knock theirs out. they more than likely wouldn't put a Fighting Fairy Belt on theirs because they don't know that the Garbodor is about to go online. So it's quirky little things like that that help me grind out wins in the mirror match. And the 1-1 line was perfect for what I needed to do with this LC. I can definitely see it increasing up to a 2-2, but my area doesn't call for it anyway. So I was able to use it to throw in other tech cards at the time. Play 4 Max Elixir. I love it. I play 9 Dark Energy. I need to go. I want my Pitch Black Spear on turn 1 if I could. On turn 2, guaranteed. So that's how it feels. Love it. Play 4. It's absurd. Play 1 Super Rod. There are times when I have to Sycamore away Garbodor or Dark Energy on the early turns or Ultra Ball, and I just put them back in, need to refuel for Max Elixir late game. Super Rod's pretty obvious. I play 3 Trainers Mails. Originally, I only played 2 because I wanted to see how the list worked with the Japanese Volcanion deck. I was like, why are they playing 2 Trainers? Well, that's stupid. Then I tried that too, and I felt fine. And then, like my Water Box deck, I played 0, so it felt fine then too. But the problem is when I go to LCs, I feel like the only games I'm going to lose are either complete like domination in matchups, or I'm just going to draw like crap and just get donked or some stupid stuff like that. So I dropped one of the Garbodor stat in the Trainer's Mail just to get that extra consistency there. So that way I don't just lose because, hey, I dead drew and, that's Pokemon kind of crap happens. So 3 is good. 4 Ultra Ball, standard. 4 VS Seeker, standard. 1 Delinquent, the MVP of the day. Holy crap, this card is absurd. No one knows how to play around it, or they know how to play around it. They just don't because they forget about it. And I dropped 3 of my opponent's hand to 0 today out of 5 rounds. So, lovely card. Holy crap. There's been so many times where BKT is like just putting an absurd amount of pressure on my opponent, and I don't know, I think like even if I played against it, I would just burn so many resources so quickly and dump EX Pokemon into my discard pile with my Ultra Ball that I might get my hand that low, like as much as my opponents do, just because he's just so threatening. And you kind of don't want to attach your tools, but you do at the same time because you want to hit your Lysandre and then have them be online at that moment. So, I don't know. I think just like the way this deck forces your opponent to take very awkward routes to get their their win conditions online, that it lets them it takes away their thought process when they see Delinquent hit the graveyard or discard pile, and then you just VS Secret back up and drop their entire hand. So it's happened a lot. Yeah, holy crap. Test it out for yourself. I'm playing one in mostly all my builds now, just because I see it as like a very mediocre Getsus for the standard format. But there's those hands your opponents have where they get their Sycamore, and then they have they Sycamore and they burn 4 cards from their hand, and then they finish and they have that look in their face like, yeah, all right, we got support for next turn, this and that, we're in a good position, and they think everything's good, and then you just pop a Delinquent on them. Like there's a couple times I parallel city'd myself down to 3, removed 2 of my Shaymin, and then Delinquent the parallel city, and looked at my opponent like, dude, it's over. Like, why are we still here? It's turn 3. You lost. You have no cards. So try it out. It's absurd. I like the card. 2 Lysandre, standard for the new format. There's no compressor, so you can't fish it out that quickly. 2's fine. 2N. I at first had 3. I felt like the deck was consistent enough. I can drop it for some tech cards, so I did. I put in Pokemon Center Lanion's place. But N's good. I usually take a huge lead off of double Pitch Black Spear, so I don't see myself ending too much unless my hand's complete crap. 1 Ninjaboy. So it's sad that this Konoha's finest, Leaf Village little dude is banned online because they have no idea how to fix his issues. But I love this card so freaking much in this deck. Like, the plays I've made with this boy is absurd. I opened a Shaymin one game, and I threw a Dark Energy on it and a Fighting Fury Belt, and then benched like some like Jirachi or Yveltal or some weird stuff past my opponent, and they were like, okay, cool, and then they like Ultra Ball, Hoopa, get X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. I had a Mega passed, and then I drew, attached DZE, and Ninjaboyed him into a BKT, and took 6 prizes off the BKT. And the rest of my hand was garbage. Like, if this was another supporter, maybe that would happen differently, but he saved the day, you know, and he just made, like, this go back in the deck. And I think the following turn I got an Ultra Ball, and the Ultra Ball got me him because the other one was prized. And I was like, oh, Ninjaboy saving the day, dude. It was just absurd. So I fell in love with the card in that moment. I've used Ninjaboy 4 times to go into the Umbreon for the end game. And every other time I end game people, I just kind of set the Umbreon on the bench, DCE'd, and then lucked out with an Elixir. And then 4 prized them that way. So I think this card's great. I really like in Yveltal decks. I think 1's fine. Going to 2 is way too much. But it lets cute plays happen. Like, you can turn your BKT into the Umbreon. You can turn the BKT into Yveltal. You can do the other way around. Sometimes I was in a prize trade grind with a mirror match, and I had Yveltal with a lot of damage on it, and I knew that they were going to target it down next turn with the Pitch Black Spear. So I just Ninjaboyed him into I think it was Jirachi, and I just let it die. And they took a prize. And I still won the game off of that because that Yveltal-EX is what he needed to win. So, yeah. Cute, crazy stuff happens. Love this card. One Pokemon Center Lady. I played this with the concept in mind to break up the 2-hit KOs that particular Mega decks needed to have against my deck. So, Mewtwo's don't have enough damage to, let's say, like one-shot my Darkrai-EX. They can only hit it for 120. And then I Pokemon Center Lady, and then I had to hit it for 120 again. And then they need to do it again the following turn in order to try and take the final knockouts on them. I also was like, oh, all right, what if they play Froakie or some kind of stupid paralysis crap on me? I want Center Lady there to save me. Maybe it'll swing the BKT versus BKT concept again, where if they hit me for 60, I just heal that off, and now I get the the 1-up turn on them. It actually didn't help out that much today. It's definitely a card you can swap out if you feel like putting back in the Garbodor line. But I played today. It was decent. Needs more testing for me to give a final say on it, but I'm going to show on the list anyway. 4 Sycamore. Pretty obvious. Discard your hand, draw 7. Broken. 2 Parallel City. I play 2 not only to counter Mega Ray, but to regulate my Shaymin and their Shaymin. The way I say their Shaymin is I go into the late game stages and they have a Shaymin on the bench. I'm at 2 prizes. My main goal is get 2 BKTs online and then Parallel City yourself down to, or I Parallel City myself down to 3. That way they can't play their own Parallel City and put themselves down to 3, discarding their Shaymin in the process. So the only out for them to save the Shaymin is going to be a Sky Return. And that's very awkward for them to do, as they'll need to burn a DCE onto it and then manually retreat the active if they don't have a Garbodor online, since I have Fright Night up, negating Floatstone. And it's kind of like stuck them in place. So I played against a couple Mega decks where, like I said, the same scenario played out. I checked their discard pile. There's no stadiums, or like they burned a couple stadiums already, and I was like, oh, he still at least has 1 or 2 Parallel Cities left. So I'd Shaymin dig really hard for a Parallel City myself down to 3, and then now he can't play his own and get rid of his Shaymin, and then it kind of just sealed the deal from 60-60 snipe from 2 different BKTs. So I like 2 in the deck. Playing 1 feels really awkward. I feel like in the matchups where it's going to help me, 1 isn't enough. And then playing 2 makes me feel more safe about benching my Shaymin. That way I don't have to just rely on Ninjaboy to get them off the bench. So, like it. 2 is solid. 1 Reverse Valley. It could be a Faded Town too if you need it to be. But it just helps with numbers. It helps on the mirror match. You poke them for 70 with Pitch Black Spear into their active Yveltal. And it's better than just hitting for 60 because you get 2 hit KOs instead of 3 hit KOs. For the most part, I just like the stadium lineup. It's pretty solid. 2 Fighting Fury Belt. Standard, I wanted 3 but I couldn't find too much room. I already cut down the Garbodor line. I was playing some like tech, like Pokemon Center Lady, and I was like, do I really need Fighting Fury Belt at 3? No, I have BKTs, so drop down to 2. Could go back up to 3 if you want to move the Pokemon Center Lady, like I said before. But this is a really good card in this current format. 3 Floatstone, main way to retreat. If you're playing Garbodor, you should be playing 3 Floatstones, and I need Floatstones to get any of this crap out of the active that's not Homeboy here. And he needs to be active, and he needs to be the star of the show. So 3 Floatstones definitely helps make that happen. 4 DCE standard. Everyone can utilize DCE. Love it. I originally only had 8 Darkness Energy in the deck. I pitched this deck to a couple friends of mine. Anthony Desiata actually tested out the deck on his own for a little bit with 8 energy, and he's like, this is crap. You're just luck sacking every time you're hitting Elixir. I barely hit Elixir my entire tournament, or his entire tournament in this case. So I was like, whatever, I guess I'll drop a card and add another one in. So played 9. I think I missed 1 Elixir all day out of like, I don't know, 11 or 12 of them. I have really good rates with 9 energy, so this feels perfectly fine. So I know you're thinking, what else do we play? If I drop this crap like your Pokemon Center Lady or your Delinquent, whatever you're saying, what can I add in? Why should I add in? That kind of crap. Silent Lab's very good in this deck. Silent Lab makes really cute plays with Fright Knight to get a Fighting Fairy Belt, Floatstone, anything on them in order for you to make other plays that you need to break the situation. Faded Town's very, very good. It complements well with Endgame. So if you get like a Faded Town to stick for 20, if it actually goes into 40 going into your turn, it helps the Endgame numbers climb, as you'll need it to have the damage there early, and then you follow up with your Endgame to finish them off. What's going to be in the deck? The Baby Yveltal from XY. I see everyone playing this still, and I really hate the card in the standard format. I don't see a reason to play it. I think when it chips for 30, 40, or 50 with Reverse Valley and Fighting Fury Belt, at every given moment when I'm doing that, I'd rather just have a BKT online. And if I'm not using BKT, then it should be another attacker out there. It shouldn't be something that's trying to recur energy from my discard pile when I don't even play Compressor in the deck. I have to luck out by getting Ultra Ball, and me Ultra Balling away my dark energies makes me feel like I'm lowering my number for Elixir being hit, and I already drew them, so why don't I just add it to something useful I'm going to swing with in order to get it going. I also don't have Zoroark in this list, so if you don't have Zoroark to complement the XY, you can't Fury Belt the active XY without expecting to just try and manually retreat it. And if I'm manually retreating it, I'm not even keeping up my tempo that I'm already gaining back from doing the chip damage and the energy retrieval from my discard pile, which I somehow hit to get the energy on him and then the energy in discard, and I don't even play Compressor, and then now I got a Zoroark online, so I don't know how I'm going to get everything that I need to get my Yveltals and my BKTs and my Darkrai. So I don't see a reason to play it, and every time I play against one, I feel like it's not putting any kind of pressure on me, and I feel like BKT does that in spades. So hopefully you guys liked my deck list. I took a couple of losses with this list to a bunch of fairy decks, because Ernie's break deck. Sometimes I just drew like crap. Sometimes the resistance just plays a factor and I get backhanded. I lost the Rainbow Road today. That kind of sucked. There's nothing I could do. He played the stage 1 hybrid one where it wasn't even EXs. Like he had like one Volcanion EX and one Shaymin in the deck. Everything else like a B sharp and a Galurk, and just it was so bad. That sucked. But I like the list a lot. Please try it out. Give me your guys' thoughts, comments. Do you like the list? What other decks do you guys want to see? But I wanted to give you guys like the main deck I'm testing right now, because yeah, this is really, really fun to play. I think it's a really, really good call in the standard format. So with that being said, I'm getting kind of tired. I probably should go sleep, but I like to give a shout out to our sponsors at Ultimate Guard. Please visit ultimateguard.com for all your trading card collectible needs and anything else that you want to have, like these amazing flip and tray Get into the camera here. Flipping trade deck boxes. Holy crap, it's so blurry. Yeah. I actually been using these for a while now, and I use their sleeves for everything. Absolutely love their sleeves. Shuffles so smoothly, so fluently. Just cradles in your hand. It's awesome. Yeah. We're doing another giveaway in our next video, and I should have 2, 3, or 4 more videos coming out this week. I'm going to start doubling up on them and pushing out a lot of content because there's a lot of ideas I want to get out there before we go off to regionals. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great weekend. Good luck with the rest of the month grinding out your league challenges. And the rumor has it that the end of September is the final summer season where you guys can hit your 2 best finish limits for league challenges, your quota, so to say. And I hope you guys hit those in whatever area you're in, because it's pretty hard to get points when now there's a potential 120 points sitting out there from league challenges for us to get for the year. So thanks for logging into someone's PC, and take it easy.